What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? I fooled you. I'm in the bottom corner. Ha! You didn't know where to look. It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin and Jokes.
Yo.
We have special guest Jose Jaro, Joe Jaro in the building with us.
What's going on?
And you are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today,
Today?
oh, today is a doozy, boy. It's a doozy. Yes, no, you are right, Perp. Joe is not Gage. But we're brothers, so it's almost the same thing.
Right? Got the hat, like he's the right way. He's got it all right there right now.
Hat, glasses. Pretty much grew up in the same houses, so it's just pretty much the same guy. All right, so listen, let's get through the rigmarole. J. Robert Dean says congrats on the book.
Yeah.
I agree, Tony. Tony, I agree.
Going around the horn.
All right, the roundabout way. Jokes will get the beacons link up for everybody. Jump in there, give us a follow. We'll get that updated shortly. It's time for Extra Life. I know you guys have been hearing us talk about it relatively recently. The gears are really in motion now. We're putting some new things together to do for Extra Life because we need to take it up a notch. So getting ready for that. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
My man DJ L Ice bringing up the pack in the rear. We greatly appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Joe.
Yo.
You have a new project that you're working on. For those of you who are not familiar with Joe, Joe is a longtime friend of the show. Joe actually designed our logo, the Loading Snacks logo.
I did.
Forever
ago.
Forever
on
ago.
paper. On paper. With a pen.
Paper, y'all.
Who does that?
It was scanned in. Which is crazy. What up, Zane? And Joe is an incredible artist, like a super incredible artist. Always has been. And has a new project. So pretty much every time you come on the show, Joe, you are working on a new project. Something. That is there is a new.
Hopefully that I can keep doing that. So
you know what though? I feel the same way. You know what I mean? Like I love that you're getting to do new stuff and different stuff and stay. That's right, Buffy artist Joe Jaro. Very true.
And
what up, Sam?
Oh, what's up?
You have a good night, Kidlet.
Yep.
That's the crazy thing about actually that there's a connection between the Buffy and getting this D&D project going. So as Gage said, I'm working on a new project. It's for IDW publishing. It's Dungeons and Dragons. Fortune Finder.
Just like that.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
Fortune Finder.
Yeah. So synopsis is basically it coincides with they're coming out with a new source book. It's called Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse for Dungeons and Dragons. And it's centered around our hero Finder, that's his name. He's like an amnesiac. He doesn't basically he's forgotten who he is, and the whole arc of the series is him finding. And there's a twist to it too, and for each issue, which is pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool.
And the city of Sigil. And the thing is, like all this stuff, what I'm telling you right now, I know nothing about. before I got on this project. Yo, the Dungeons and Dragons that I was
Hey, Nana.
into was the
Hey, mama.
1980s
Hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Came on like what? Like
Yes.
it was like the last cartoon that came on Saturday morning before it like
Yep.
turned into like live action stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Before wrestling came on,
right, exactly.
that
And I
was yeah.
played maybe a handful of times some actual like D&D. There's
Yeah.
always D&D's always been around in that whatever. But anyway, yeah. So the comic coincides with the new source book. It's with this our hero finder who's an amnesiac, and he's being chased by like just a plethora of like different characters and whatever.
Yeah.
And the connection to Buffy is that the writer Casey for Buffy basically just put me on. She knew
Oh,
somebody at IDW. He said, "I think you'd be great for this." And at that point, when she actually contacted me, I was kind of right in the middle of doing character designs for Hitmonkey, which is
Monkey.
coming out in
Yeah.
2024. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, yeah, it's kind of up in the air. I don't know what's going on. So I finished that run with Hitmonkey, and it just, like kind of, I don't know, just came into place. And it
It's
just jumped
happened.
right on. Yeah, just jumped right onto that.
Networking.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Networking. I've seen
yeah,
Boom has like an interview that they posted to their YouTube with you and the writer from Buffy from I don't know
oh
a while back,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it makes sense that you say that because like even then like she was like singing your praises, like just you guys talking about like getting pages and kind of sending stuff back and forth to each other.
She's
So it's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
That is that's really dope. That again when you work as hard as you do and you put in the work and people see the quality of your work and clearly you're hitting deadlines because
oh, dude, let me tell you. And, about deadlines. So the editor, Chase Moretz. Oh, God, it's gonna kill me. Can't remember the last name. I know it's all by email. Like I
right,
like
right.
so it's the communicate. But he was dope. He's awesome. Who put me on? He has been a great editor. I've been lucky for the past few projects I've been on. Just the team's been great.
Yeah,
My editors or my producers and art directors, whatever, have been really great to work with. Chase, who put me on, um, and getting into the deadlines thing. I mean, he's been like so. All right. So going back to Casey got me in touch with Chase from IDW, and so because she wanted me, she's writing a D&D project, and she wanted me on it. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So Chase got gets all my stuff and presents it to Wizards of the Coast, who so IDW is publishing. Wizards of the Coast
right.
um,
Owns D&D.
owns D&D.
Right.
So he presented my stuff to them, and he came back. He was like, dude, they think your style can go all across Dungeons and Dragons. I'm actually going to put you on another book. So this isn't even the book that
That
Casey's
you were
writing.
originally
Originally being
Casey.
put on
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
So he put me on
So she
something
was being
else
selfish.
before.
She was trying to
Yeah.
get you for her book,
Yeah.
and you were trying to
Messed.
Yeah. So she's in the middle of writing her book. I'm I'm assuming right after I do this 5-issue series, I'm going to jump onto that. Now, the thing
yeah.
is, Chase, so he announced to us the team on Friday.
Okay.
Um, well, he's got another opportunity. Like he's moving on
Okay.
from IDW.
Oh, okay.
And so new editor came on. Did the whole meet and greet, and everything seems cool. Very cool, very nice to chat with them. The only thing is they're like, so this is Wednesday. So he told us I think last Friday what was going on the Friday before. And then the Wednesday of last week we meet the new editorial team. and one of the first things was like, "Oh, this is great, man. Great to meet you." So, Joe, you think you get those pencils done by Friday? I'm like, no. They were
It's
going off
Wednesday.
the bat with that, right? I was like,
It's
okay,
Friday.
all right.
It was like you don't need
Right.
breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or
But well, I was like,
It's-
I was definitely on my tail end. Like, I actually could have finished it Friday, but Chase was like, he had me go back and start doing ink so the
Okay.
colorist can come in
Mhm.
for issue two, actually. So
Okay.
issue one, I'm done with. Like, I did all the lines, so I'm working on
Okay.
issue two now. So yeah, so he was like, "Good, do some ink so the colors can jump in and start working on it."
Yeah.
So I was like, so is that still the case?" Like, no, just finish the pencils and whatever. But anyway, I mean, they've been awesome. They're like, "Oh, I banged it out this weekend. Like, I got it done, got it in by
Yeah.
Monday. So
That's
you
dope.
know,
That
on
My
that
top of
man,
that
other
that
things
my
going
man.
on.
that goes for the explanation as to why you were tired when we first jumped in here.
Yeah, dude. Well,
Man.
that and on top of that, so I don't know if you guys remember, I talked to you guys on here before, actually working on Blood of Zeus for
Mm-hmm.
so the same studio, Powerhouse, they contacted me a couple of weeks ago, and I'm doing like just uh they're trying to do a pitch. So the producer that I worked with, he contacted me. He's like, dude, I got something. I can't even believe we got greenlit for it because of all the strikes and all that.
Mhm.
So
Oh
he was
yeah.
like,
Okay.
but yeah. So he was like, but I think you'd be, great to like your style would be great for something like this. So he gathered like a bunch of artists or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that for
just
like
for it's for a
a
pitch. It's for a pitch
okay?
basically.
Mhm.
Is
So
it like a character design gig? It's for
yeah, it's a
character
character
design?
design gig for
Okay.
Okay.
animation.
Okay.
Um,
That's dope.
yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of like a sci-fi noir,
Yeah.
type of show. Um,
That's dope.
but no, yeah. So they like my stuff right now. They said it was the North Star. I guess that's of like my style. I guess is what the direction. I guess what
That they
they
want to
want
go.
to do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been working on as well. On top of getting these pencils done. So-
Hey, listen, but
yeah,
listen, don't
dude.
act like
Today.
Hey,
you're
both
not like
both hands
sneaking
go.
in time for yourself.
Mhm.
Like you're sneaking in time for yourself to do stuff like this because you just
Dude, I
like,
had
oh,
to.
it's dope. So
I had
I
to.
gotta,
Like,
gotta
you
throw
have
this
to,
up
man.
here.
When you're on the grind, and it's like, oh, you gotta do something for yourself sometimes. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. I know you're eating Ahsoka alive, and I know you're doing interiors. Do you have any covers for the D&D? I know this is one of your interiors. I didn't grab all of them. I just grabbed this one. You
Yeah.
guys want to see a few more of the interiors? Make sure you follow Joe. His at for Instagram is right there next to
Mhm.
his name at Joe
Mhm.
Jaro
Easy
underscore
enough.
at Joe Jaro. So make sure you go there and you follow Joe so you can see what he's working on and some of the designs and so forth. And like, don't mind when you see him posing with a lightsaber or something like that. It's bound to happen. Um,
Painting helmets and toys and stuff too. But
oh, bro,
no,
shoes.
I'm actually doing variant covers for each issue also.
Oh,
Dope.
that's dope.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
Dope.
Yeah. So
so it's
yeah, it's fun.
a 6 issue run.
Uh,
Issue run.
5 issues. Could be 6 issues. I can't remember.
Somewhere in the ballpark.
That's I go it's one day at a time, man. It's
Hey, listen, 5 issue run.
actually I
I
think
know that.
it might actually be
So
6 issues. I can't
So
remember
J.
though.
Robert Deans, who is watching and was commenting, had posted a note, saying, "Hey, a comment saying, hey, publishers need to grab
Mhm.
this by this Thursday because that's the deadline to get the orders in for comic shops and so forth." J. Robert Deans is actually the person who contacted me and was like, "Hey, you need to have Joe on the show."
Mhm.
Appreciate
All
you,
right,
man. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure I can make that happen.
Always down for you guys, man. You know that.
Yeah, I
Family.
appreciate that.
Much
I
love.
But
appreciate that. I really do because you could be finishing stuff for deadlines right now.
I took yeah, I took Elliot, my daughter, to swimming practice, and I got back and I was actually working on it as well. And it's just like
It's all day every
sometimes it
day.
gets to be a grind. I love what I do, but like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just gotta
Mm-hmm.
like. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, and I'm trying to finish this up, so I gotta turn these designs in by Friday. So it's a finalized design, like for the most part, but the one aspect of it they want to kind of change. That's what I've been working on. And then they have
Okay.
another character that I have to do it in my style. So that's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
too hard. So it's basically it's done.
Right.
Somebody designed it, so I just got to do it in my style. And I got to turn it all in Thursday. Um,
Okay.
so that's why I like killed myself. Well, I didn't kill myself, but I knocked out those pencils to work on this for this week.
You
So
needed it.
we'll see.
That way you'd have the
Hey,
space. What
yeah.
We'll see if it
is it?
works.
Is it? Is there a typical amount of time that you're given from, here's what we want to when they usually want you to, like, in terms of deadlines? Is it usually like you have a you have 4 days, sir, before we
Yeah,
blow up?
so it's
It's
kind of
like,
weird. So he gave me until this I met the first deadline already was the 8th, and
mhm,
I started the gig maybe like 2.5 weeks, but maybe it's like about a week and a half, 2 weeks prior, and he gave me the
okay,
deadline for the 8th, and that was only for like two characters, for that.
mm,
But when I was working on Hitmonkey, they give me assignments or whatever, and depending on the amount of like turns and like variants they want, they give you like
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
specific hours
Oh, and
that
everything.
you have
mm,
for these. Yeah, so like how they budget it out and whatever. So
yeah,
that's like, yeah. So, um, but yeah, I mean, characters down, I can typically knock them out if I probably like in a day or two.
yeah.
Dope.
Um,
Depending on
yeah.
what it is.
Depending on what it is, I'm really into it and like, oh man, and I could just like whip out all these ideas, come up and whip out like a few variants or whatever.
Yeah,
Sometimes though, when you come across something, it's just like I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to
I
do.
can't even draw one, and that's when it's like a chore, and it takes me
Yeah,
like
you get it's the equivalent, the artist version of writer's block, just like the artist
yeah,
block kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I would say that that's probably the thing that I think most people who, like, even if you know and you respect, like, if you read comic books or you love animation or artwork
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, um, whether you are a person who, like, thinks one day that's the kind of thing you would want to do, or you're just a person who, like, loves that final product that you see, I think deadlines is the one thing nobody ever talks about to people who are, like, looking to get into it, and that, like, deadlines make the difference for a lot of people. Like,
I
Mm-hmm.
do.
yes, you have to have some artistic talent, but sometimes, like, an artist might get chosen who maybe isn't quite as talented an artist, quote unquote, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously
Mhm.
it's art that's subjective,
Right.
because they turn stuff
They turn
around
it, yeah.
quickly.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, oh man, like that's comic books in a nutshell, dude. Like,
Mm,
yeah, man, it's a grind. I personally would rather do just like full time character design than
mm,
grinding out. And I love storytelling. I love like panel to panel work, sequentials, whatever comic books, and like I can be a director basically when I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
pages, and I like all these like ideas that come up per page and stuff. It's fun, but it is
yeah,
a grind. It's
yeah,
total grind. Yes,
yeah.
deadlines they do suck, and it's like
But a necessary evil,
sometimes
no?
Yeah.
it is necessary, and I swear sometimes comic books is just like, oh, we need it by tomorrow is basically what I feel like sometimes, a lot of
Mm,
times.
yeah.
But yeah, you gotta find that balance of like, can I make something really like just pops and really cool versus I got to get this done. So it
Yeah.
might not be the best, and that's basically like you have 20 pages of that you have to do, and sometimes you're just like this page. It's actually not even that important, so we're just gonna
Right. This
you
isn't
know
the big fight
whip the
scene.
yeah
This
this
isn't
right
whatever. We're just
Yeah.
kind of talking or whatever
right
and move on to
exactly
the next.
gonna whip on this like real quick and move on to the next big page or whatever. So
Look. I think deadlines are probably as important as they are. Not like just in terms of like the business of like we have to get this done and printed and out and whatever, and like the next person has to do their part. Like you're doing pencils, maybe somebody else is doing inks, and then somebody else is doing
oh
colors,
yeah
and then sometimes somebody else is doing lettering. Like it just like it could go through so many hands
oh yeah
before it
oh
gets
yeah
there, and so you need it. But the other thing about it is that I have always found that artists themselves are always their biggest critics, and so like if you just let them be, they'll spend forever doing one thing because they'll change that little thing. They do that, you know what I mean?
that's me that's
I
me.
mean, I'm actually talking about you because I've known you a long time. Like I have watched you wear erasers to the core, bruh. Like you know what I'm
That's
saying?
me,
Like
man.
but I totally get it. You know what I mean? Because I know that like it's that idea of getting the there is something special about being able to take the vision you have in your head and put it on paper. But sometimes people are like, yeah, but I need it now though. So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. No, and you're right. It is. It's a conveyor belt. I have to do the lines, and then the colors has to come in. They need ample amount of time to work on their stuff.
yeah.
The letter needs to do his thing. So yes, definitely deadlines are necessary. It's just it sucks. I hate
Yeah.
it.
Considering that, like you said, you're talking about a bunch of stuff you don't know. Like when you start talking about D&D, what's the coolest thing you learned about D&D that you can tell us that isn't a spoiler? I don't want you to like
It's not. It's
Right.
not
don't have
even just
anybody
one.
for us because you said something on here.
No, it's not even just one thing. It's actually, and on maybe on any other project, like it would be kind of annoying, but Wizard of the Coast is very meticulous of like the creatures and like what they look like and
Mhm.
whatever. So I've had when I'm doing the stuff, they'll thank God for my editor and for the writer. They'll this is a sorry, my son's yelling at the dog. Um, this is a lizard folk, or this is a dragonborn, or this is a whatever thing that I've
Yeah,
never heard of before. So they have to Google it, but they'll give you like some resources and whatever, some reference.
yeah.
And one of them, dragonborn, and lizard folk. It was lizard folk, so they gave me a resource and it has a tail. It has sails or fins or whatever.
Mhm.
So he's like, this looks great, but can we make that? And after talking to Wizards of the Coast, they want you to make the kind of like the sails a little bit bigger, blah blah blah. A week later, so remember that the
Oh
lizard folk. So the latest iteration of and whatever is that they have no tails, so we have to get rid of the tails. And I mean, so, you could
Yeah.
get that and be like, God dang it, you just.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I actually,
you
you're
just pick it up
dying.
and just rip the tail off. Like, hold on, I got you.
but the thing is, I actually appreciated how like meticulous. Like, no, man,
Yeah.
this is our product.
Mhm.
This is what it needs to look. And I'm like,
This is
all
how we
right,
wanted
I
to be.
appreciate you guys. And it's actually like I'm learning all these other like all these creatures and stuff, and it's different for me because I've done sci-fi, I've done superheroes,
Uh-huh.
I've done like whatever, and I've never done like really fantasy stuff. So
Fantasy.
all this
Yeah.
is pretty new to me. So and it's
Cool.
Yeah.
fun. But that's what like my biggest takeaway with at least like Wizards of the Coast and how meticulous they are of like what, and it has to coincide with the new source book that they're coming out with. So I get it. I totally get it. So and it
That's
wasn't
why
a
it
lot.
has to look like what it is, because the new source book is the new material for everybody that's going to be playing
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
forward.
like going forward. So it has
Right.
to match
Right. It has to
what that
match.
is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, I
not.
get it.
And honestly, it's not like every page like, oh, this and that. Not at all. But
Yeah,
it has to be done. And it was so dope. So like, in issue one, so a little spoiler. The writer was like, yeah, if you want, you can like put a little 80s cartoon cameos in there from D&D. I was like, if I want, I was like, I was gonna do it anyway.
You just got the extra green light. It's like,
Right.
oh,
And that was
like
for
yeah.
the first issue. I'm like, no, man, these guys are gonna follow you throughout this entire.
Oh, they gonna be there the whole time. Did you see the movie? Did you watch the live action
I
movie that
did,
came out?
I did, I did. I liked
I
it.
liked it, right?
hmm
It was fun.
And I
That was
loved
pleasant.
the 80s characters cameos that they
Mm-hmm.
had in it. It was
Mm-hmm.
so dope, right? Like I have the box set. Uh, I mean they're DVD, so clearly it's old, right? But I
Yeah.
have like the DVD box set from the, because the show was only like one season, like it didn't last very long. But I just remember like loving that show when it came out, and so and I remember seeing you. I want to say that it was around the time the movie came out. I remember seeing you drawing them out,
Yeah, I
and
did. Yeah, I did a
and
little. Yeah, actually,
like
when I
character
did
sheets.
that, when I did that was when Casey was like, uh, was gonna send my stuff over to Chase
Got it.
for the D&D project. I was like, you know what? I'll just do a little bit of look what I can do, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So, but
Mm-hmm.
dude, I would love for somebody to pick that back up and further adventures like animated would be dope.
I think it could be really dope. Like I don't know who would be
I don't know, but
the right
it'd be
team to
neat.
do it because they just don't do animation that way anymore. Like it just doesn't look like that anymore. That era of like actually like mid 80s, mid to late 80s animation, the in that like Transformers, Centaurians, like they just don't
Visionaries.
mm,
visionaries, yeah, exactly. Like mask, like that animation just doesn't exist
Right.
anymore. There's nothing like it. And maybe it's partially because so much of it is all digital now and they can just do things they couldn't do before, but like it just feels like the time and the effort isn't quite the same. You know what I mean? The hand painted
Some
backgrounds and like
pops.
stuff like that. So I it's but I definitely think it could be done. I think that I think if the movie had done a little bit better,
mm,
it wouldn't surprise me if I heard that they had greenlit
Yeah.
like an
Yeah.
animated.
mm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Um,
Right. But no,
I don't know
I
where it was.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed that movie. It was pretty good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did too. My
And the
my
thing is, and
expectations were kind of low.
I was saying, like so when they cameoed those '80s characters in there, like I could totally see them going in, like actually using those characters in this direction because it didn't take itself too seriously, but
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
enjoyable. Um, it wasn't like too hokey or too like corny or whatever. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It was
There's like
fun. It
just
was
the
just a
right
fun
level of
movie.
comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. It was cool. I dug it. All right. So listen, do you have any idea when this is going to be available to the people?
So the first issue is coming out November 15th.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
Okay.
Okay,
for
Not
cool.
Fortune
too
500.
Not
long.
too far
So
to wait.
yeah, not too long. Not too long. We're grinding away and getting these books done. So like
Okay.
I said, issue one for my part is pretty much done. Actually, all the coloring's done as well. So it's just
Okay.
lettering and just whatever tail end is going on. So yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah, yeah.
I did that. What's the dream project for you? Something that already
Um,
exists to call and just be like,
Dream project, if I ever
yeah.
could, you know what it is. It's Lucasfilm
I
Star
was
Wars.
say
If I
Star
can
Wars is
ever,
gonna be.
Mhm.
yeah, man, if I
Who-
can ever jump on a Star Wars project, that'd be insane.
Lucasfilm. Y'all, hey, listen.
Go check out my
Listen.
man work.
No.
He's
I'm
he's
trying.
Oh, oh,
certified.
oh, By the way,
I mean, look, it's right there in front of you. It's right there in front of
you
you.
know what I'm saying? Just in case.
You need a reminder.
I dig it. I dig it, man. Let me get personal with you real quick, Joe. What's the last Lego set you bought?
Oh, what's the last Lego set?
That your wife knows about, because I don't want you to say
Select
Actually,
carefully.
it's not even a Star Wars set. It was Optimus Prime.
was that the last one you got?
That's the last one I got. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
get any more like this?
What's that?
Did you get any more like? I bought a.
No.
All right, so listen. I just bought a light kit
Yeah. For what? For which one?
for the
Man, we
Black
gotta talk to
Panther
Zeta,
plus.
man. Oh,
For the
okay.
Black Panther plus. And I'm gonna tell you something. While I am positive that I am smart enough to put it together,
It's a. I get you. It's a step by step.
bro.
It'll get you through it, man.
When you listen, when I open the package,
I,
it has all these little baggies, dog. It's like little weed bags of lights and tricks,
yeah,
dog. It's
man.
like all these little baggies. And I was like, this isn't that bad though. And then I started going through and like how it is step by step, but it's literally like take this off,
Yeah.
take this brick off, take
Yeah.
this brick off,
It's
put this
meticulous.
brick
It's
here, and run this wire directly through here. Do not run it through here. You may pinch the wire and destroy everything you just did.
Oh, no. And depending on what bricks you got to take out, that could be a travesty if you
yeah.
don't do that right.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell
So
you what.
I did that Batmobile, and it
I
took me a
know,
while. It took me a while,
That thing
but it
look
worked. It
clean
was
though.
also
Ooh.
after.
Yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you what. And so now what happened is I looked at it and I looked at the instructions. I downloaded them twice. I downloaded the instructions in HD and in SD. I don't know. It's how the PDF came. They gave me both options. I downloaded both, right? Let me tell you something. I looked at it and I was like, this is like it's gonna take a really long time.
Yeah.
What I know is that if I do it and I like it, and I know I'm
You would
gonna
do
like
it.
it, I'm gonna have to buy more, bro. Like
I
I'm just
know. I
it's
know.
gonna be it's gonna turn
I
into a
wouldn't
sickness.
mind getting one for Optimus Prime. I
So
think that'd be
listen, I
dope.
almost bought that. So what happened is the place that there's a couple of places that I look at that do light kits. One of them was having a sale. Like I had looked at them like the week before, and whatever the last holiday was, Labor Day, they did a sale. And everything was like 25% off. And I was like, now it's not gonna be so bad. Because you gotta buy the kit, but then
Yeah.
you also need the battery pack or the power pack so you can plug it in so you can run the lights.
Yeah. Some of
Yo,
these
listen.
kits are expensive. Some of these kits are like it's just as much as like a Lego set. But
Yeah, he was showing them
yeah,
to me in Baltimore, and I'm like, them things are expensive. I didn't know they go
yeah.
bad like that.
I'm like, good night.
But let me tell you something. The super duper expensive ones, I know I don't want to take no Lego set apart to put those in.
No.
But I'm gonna tell you what, if this Black Panther goes the way I feel like it's gonna go,
It will.
because I was very close because they have a set for this Pac-Man joint too.
I was about to say
Oh yeah. Oh, that just dope.
That would be
The
fire.
power pellets light up, dog. I was like, hey, bruh, I
You
might
need
have to
to.
have it. So if this Black Panther joint works, that's definitely happened. And then I have to do Optimus Prime because he transforms and lights up. I have to do it because I'm not going to spend $700 on the actual Robo Send. I actually transform. I'm not doing that.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I'm gonna have to light them up. I don't have no choice. And if I
You're
find
gonna.
one for the Voltron,
I got for the Batmobile, the one I did, I didn't use the power pack that they for like to put the batteries. I used the
use the USB.
USB. Yeah, just a portable charger, a small one that could like fit right inside the giant. So it's pretty cool. Just have to charge it and whatever. But
So I bought the pack. It's right here. Hold up. So they sent the box a pack like this, right? That has the like. This is like the power. This is the thing. You know they try to scare you because I was reading it and I was like, it's just a USB, bro.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you use a different USB that has a slightly different voltage,
Buy our
then
product.
Give me that USB and shut up.
or whatever. And I'm like, you're probably lying, but I'm gonna be so mad. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man.
It's like it for the Titanic 2 kids and one. Oh, you know what?
Oh.
This is why we send your child to bed early because you acting like you she got those kind of jokes. Yeah, but I mean the kit itself is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to do it, but
That
I know
Pac-Man
once I
will
do
be
it,
fire.
I know,
Yeah.
and I'm scared.
It is.
not even-
At first, I was like, I don't know. I don't do this stuff. You know what I mean? But I walked through it. I did the same thing, bro. Like I looked up, and I downloaded the PDF and whatever. I was just like, magnify. I was like, what is this? Like so, but I powered through it. It took me a night. And it wasn't even. It's not even such a that big of a set, and it wasn't that many lights. But yeah, it does take a little while. But once it's done, dude, it's dope.
Amazing.
I know.
Looks awesome.
I know, and we have 2 Black Panthers in the house. So once I do one,
you're gonna have to go do the other one.
I do the other one.
You're gonna just look at the other one like that. Don't even
have one Black Panther like
I have the Infinity Gauntlet, and I saw a light kit for that, and I was like, and I haven't built it. It's still sitting in the box. It's right there, sitting in the box.
So you could actually do
like,
that one.
Yeah, do it at the same time. Yeah.
It's almost like you can't though, because you have to be able to wrap your mind around the way that Lego tells you to build it in the steps that they have,
and then to go.
And when you look at the light kit is telling you how to disassemble it. But like, you know what I'm saying, like it's already built. So it's like you still have to build the whole thing and then take it apart to make sure that you
got it.
Because it don't take. I'll be honest. Like I built a lot of Lego sets. It's not real hard to miss the slightest thing where they're like, spin it this way before you add the next piece, and you'll be like 5, 6 more steps in and be like, something not right. It's not lining up. And then you got to use that stupid little
orange thing
to flick, to open them, to take them apart. And then you going back and you're like, what did I do wrong? And I miss it because it's just a little symbol that's like a little swirl that's telling you turn it this way.
And do
right.
You missed that joint, bro. That's it.
That's why I'm happy with some of my Gundam kits. Like you can get the light kit, and it just works alongside while you're building it, so you don't have to go back.
You would be totally lost if you tried to put a light kit on like while building a Lego set. I think you'd just be like, I don't even know what this is.
There's like no rhyme or reason to it. Yep.
The brick separator. Get it right.
The little orange brick flicker.
Orange little bricks.
Yeah. Listen, Joe, I know you got deadlines and stuff to meet, so if you want to hang around, feel free. If you gotta bounce, that's cool too. I know you got kids to put in the bed and dogs to feed or walk or both. So feel free if you want to, because we have to talk about the Xbox Super Leak that happened today. I cannot. Has to happen.
Before you get into that, I am gonna bounce. Watch that new Ahsoka first, but then I gotta put these little Rugrats to bed and all that. But thank you for everyone and for y'all always supporting and all that. So.
Bro, of course, bro.
Love you, dog. Love the family. Send our love to everybody. Are the kids watching Ahsoka with you?
They watched the first 2 episodes, and then I don't know, kind of dropped off. But then Jack was like, "You're watching it without us." I'm like, "Y'all aren't trying to watch it with me. I watch it right when it drops.
I'm not waiting for y'all."
Yeah.
No.
Y'all both in y'all feelings. You both are in your feelings talking to each other. You watching it without us. You ain't trying to watch it. Y'all better
gotta watch it when it drops, man. Like,
he's not caught up. Is that what you're saying? Jack's not caught up.
No.
All right.
I'll catch him.
Get your man caught up.
Yep.
We caught up. Hey, listen. Tell him just have him listen to Spoiler Boys, episodes 1 through 5, and he just start episode 6.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? We in there. Straight up. Nana says much love, Joe.
Thank you.
Again, bro, I appreciate you hanging out with us.
100.
Go ahead and get the kids off the bed and watch Ahsoka. And do not text me tonight about Ahsoka, dog. Don't text me nothing.
I ain't gonna spoil you, man. No.
Nah, I'm gonna watch
that Joan as soon as we finish this show.
Candace said, congrats
Thanks,
on the
Candy.
book.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Have a good evening, dog. I appreciate
All
you.
right, kids. Y'all have a good night.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.
Deuces. Oh man. Ooh, what a day today was. Listen, let's have a moment.
What, for somebody's job?
What?
Let me tell you something. That lady singing to that cop, you were about to lose your job. More real than today, bruh. I don't know what y'all know. I don't know what y'all heard, but you about to get filled with a T. Filled in. Y'all about to get filled in on what is going on. Today, late last night, whatever, crazy, what we're calling, because I don't know what else to call it, the Xbox Super Leak. This is literally the biggest leak in Microsoft history. Let's not even just talk Xbox. This is...
Oh, when y'all was sending that stuff this morning, I'm sending the computer work. Y'all sending that stuff to the group chat. I'm like, this can't be real, bro. Like, hold up.
This is real. It's real. Get.
I'm getting. Do you call them X's? I'm not calling it that. I'm getting tweets. Bruh. So let me try to frame this up. Somebody who I'm gonna say used to work at Microsoft,
right?
Uploaded like a 72-page document to the FTC's website that has something to do with, again, I don't even know why you would still be doing this, like why you would still be sending something, because that trial between Microsoft and the FTC for the Xbox is like over.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody really about to get fired. Like, I don't know what is happening, but they uploaded like a 72-page document that literally has Microsoft's plans for Xbox through the year 2030. And a lot of it is stuff that's from like 2020. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about like a 10-year plan that literally has just been leaked, and the FTC's website is open. Like, you can just go and download the files and stuff that are there. When I tell you that, I'm talking about not just like, oh, here's what we would like to do, or here's the things that we're thinking about. I'm talking about straight up.
This is.
Hey, dog, when I say anybody watching the show want to see what the new Xbox look like,
we get
it.
Codename Brooklyn.
Codename Brooklyn, the Xbox Series X refresh. So next year, and I say next year because here's the entire timeline year, bro.
Because it says it right here.
Brooklyn 2 terabyte launch, $499 November. Elwood 1 terabyte launch, $299. So there will be a refresh for, I'm assuming, what is the Series S?
Yeah.
As well. Which, again, the 1 terabyte Series S just came out like a couple weeks ago. Like first week of September. So again, here is, mind you, that at Gamescom like 3 weeks ago, Phil Spencer was asked blatantly, like, are we going to see console? And he was like, nah, I think we're pretty much where we are, which I feel like the question was really more about whether or not we're going to get like an upgrade in terms of the way we went from the Xbox One S to the One X. Like the One X took it up to 4K and
Right.
all that.
Okay.
So this is not that. It is a refresh. It is a completely diskless system. So all digital. Most powerful Xbox ever, now adorably digital. Bro, this is an advertisement. Like, this is not just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brooklyn will deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi-Fi, reduced power, a more immersive controller, and a beautiful redesign that elevates all digital experiences of the Xbox ecosystem.
Hey.
Now, you heard me say a more immersive controller. Oh, you mean this
Got that
controller?
too.
Hey, dog, listen. There are actual internal documents that were released with this. And Phil Spencer in interviews has said that the one thing he most liked about what PlayStation did this go round was what they did with their controller, with the new controller. So this has a lot of the same options in it that has. We're going to cycle back to this. I need to go back to the console first. Here's why. I'm going to buy one.
Yep.
Right, Sin?
We all are.
Sin.
Come on now. That's light work. Light work.
Sin.
Light work.
Tell the people.
Oh, we buying one. Like, just put up the pre-order links already.
We got the month. We just need the actual date of release. But listen, just put it out there now. Put the pre-order link up. You get more boxes. Just start it now. Just start it now.
Am I tripping? Like, could the best way to get in front of this literally just be like, yep, it was an unfortunate mistake. Here's the pre-order. Y'all want to jump in? What's up? Jump in. Then at least they know how many to make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they, you know, like, if you know, there are going to be people who don't want something that is all digital. They're like afraid of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Microsoft and Sony moving away from disc-based consoles entirely. Basically, discs are not expensive, but they're one of the most expensive components to source and manufacture and put, you know, because they're paying somebody else for it, for the components,
and vice versa.
So
one that you
that's
can
the
phase
case.
out.
The artwork, all that kind of stuff, you got to pay for all the extraness, and that's, you know, you take the disk drive out the system for more space to do other cool.
I'm just talking about the drive itself internally to the
yeah,
system.
They don't need it anymore.
Right, just that in itself shrinks the size of the like. That's for me right now. That's the thing that I love right now is that joint's going to be smaller. Like,
I mean, I don't even really feel like that joint is too big. Xbox cloud gaming raster, faster, stronger, better. Faster, stronger, better. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Giving our fans more to love. So, beautiful and innovative new design, more internal storage for games, 2 terabytes, USB-C front port with power delivery.
Like it.
All new, more immersive controller, and same great price, $499. So again, it's the same price, but it's got an additional terabyte. That the first one did.
Yes.
That's, and you know, so yes, it's the same price, but you're getting the extra storage. Updated technologies, all new South Bridge to modernize IO and sustainability efforts. So they are, one of the things that it says in a lot of the internal documents is how their new product. Look, if you watch the Apple event from last week, almost like a good portion of their presentation was about how they're trying to be like zero emissions, like just be so much better for the earth and be greener. That is one of the initiatives with this, is that they're pushing that as well. Wi-Fi 6E radio for better throughput, latency, and interference mitigation. Bluetooth 5.0 radio for improved accessory experiences, and then a 6nm die shrink for improved efficiency. Improves sustainability story. So again, reduce PSU power by 15. Who said they might get one? I missed
Greg Richardson.
G. New low power standby mode is 20% of the current standby mode model. Increased use of PCR on the housing to less than 30% and 100% recyclable packaging. So, I mean, again, smaller size, better throughput in terms of the Wi-Fi, better throughput for Bluetooth and connectivity for external pieces. Did you see the? I don't think I grabbed that slide. Did you see the slide with the handheld in it?
Yeah, I think
I didn't see that.
I definitely saw because it had like the whole lineup of all this stuff. It was like 2 lines, and yeah, I did see that.
I don't think it's an actual handheld that they're doing. I think they're just talking about being available to use on other stuff. So let's look at the timeline. So Sabil, if you look May, so this would be May of next year of 2024. So their fiscal year starts in July. So May of 2024 would be the Sabil launch, which is the new controller, $70. So that's this Sabil, the new Xbox controller, the world's best controller, now playing on a screen near you. So ubiquity, play anywhere. Xbox Wireless 2, direct to cloud Bluetooth 5.2, seamless pair and switch, new mobile app features. That's again, they're really pushing the idea of being able to connect to your phone, connect to your tablet, play anywhere you want. See paired devices and cloud, manage devices and accessories, immersion, feel the game, precision haptic feedback, VCA haptics double as speakers, so they actually have speakers in this one now too, an accelerometer, and quieter buttons and thumbsticks. It looks a lot more like so this is their mid version, but so there's the base controller now, there's this or will be this, and then there's the Elite. This falls in between the two, but this is what is going to come with the new
console.
Yeah, with the new console when it comes out. The new version of this, the refresh console, I should call it. So this is the first time I think I can recall a controller getting a refresh, because I would have to imagine that they will discontinue the other controller.
Yeah, the standard, just the basic jump.
The Elite will be there, and it'll just be this and the Elite, because this, I would say, if this is what's coming with the box, they're gonna discontinue the other one. This may be dinosaurs, J. Robert Dean says, but when you own a disc, you don't have to worry about platforms losing or pulling product digitally. So you are partially right. And I say that, let me take this down for a moment so I can look at you. I say that because for years now, many video games specifically, the content is not on the disc. You like, if you buy a game on PlayStation, like even in PlayStation 3, you would have to put the disc in the console and download the disc to the hard drive to play it. You could not play it from the disc. So without that, the disc is still a coaster. And while it's not necessarily that way for music, because it doesn't take up anywhere near the kind of space, the issue for things like games is that I need you to, like, I give you a perfect example. Just downloaded Mortal Kombat last week. We got to talk about Mortal Kombat. We'll get to that. Mortal Kombat, when you download it, there are two versions of it that you download. There's a standard version, and then there's the 4K up-res version of it. What happens is both versions are on your console, and if your console can do 4K or you are connected to a television that can show it, it pulls those assets instead of the other. What that means is that there's a lot more content that has to be downloaded than they can generally store on a disc anymore. Right? Yeah, so Blu-rays can do upwards of 50 gigs. Games average now 100
gigs straight up.
Yep, easy.
And you bring up that,
is there technology that will allow discs to do that? Yes. Is it going to matter when you can just do digital? Probably not.
Yeah.
So digital ownership is something that, as long, I mean, it's tricky because you're really just getting a license in the long and short of it. Under most circumstances, you can still play the stuff that you have, even if they don't sell it anymore or if they turn off the servers, unless it's an online game, right? When you can only play online, the servers aren't active and the game's no good to you anyway. You just
pointless. Yeah,
can't play. So for games, it's actually becoming a little more necessary because they want to go away from having to do what we used to do. Like, even when we were just playing games on CDs and or DVDs, Final Fantasy came with 3 discs.
yeah.
We had games that came on 4 discs.
And
Even games that would run on PC would be 3-4 discs, right? And what that costs to manufacture, they don't want to do. What it costs to ship it to you, they don't want to do.
Makes sense.
And right now, digital purchases of games makes up like 86% of all video game purchases, which is why GameStop is selling pop vinyls and t-shirts. That's why GameStops look a lot more like Suncoast and Sam Goody.
That stuff's more front than the actual games themselves. Like, yeah, they'll have the pre-orders and stuff for the new stuff, but like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you know, they would put, oh, this game is on 2 discs, and I'm just like, back in the day, it was like,
that's
okay,
just one download though, bro. Like, I'm good.
Like, I'll just download it and be good. Yes, I want the special edition, but I'm just like, come on. Like,
I mean, I 100% understand the idea of ownership, but even games that are running on like the Nintendo Switch, which is using a cartridge-based media, most of the game isn't there. You put it in, and like the very beginning of the game is there, and then you have to download the rest of the game. So the whole thing's not even on the disc. So under many circumstances now, even when you think you're buying a physical copy of a game anyway,
oh, it's got a code.
A lot of times that's not the case. Yeah, a lot of times it's not the case. It's just this is the thing that the system needs to read to show that you actually own it, or you know what I'm saying, or you have it.
Right.
Anyway, and that's it. So that is why it has become such a big deal and so much more important for these companies to have you in their ecosystem, and that you create a profile and you keep that profile, because when you log into that profile on the new console, on the new thing they put out, all your stuff is there. So like, if you have Spotify, you don't own any of that music, you're streaming it all. You don't own those podcasts, you're streaming it all. But in the same way you log in with your email address and your password, you get a new phone, you log in with your email and your password. You want Spotify on your Xbox? Log in with your email and your password. You want to put it on your computer? You want to listen there? Log in with your email and your password. All your stuff, your saved playlist, all the things, it's all there. And that's the same kind of principle that they are going for with the concept of ownership. And I don't say that lightly, the concept of ownership. You are paying for them to let you use it until they can't afford to let you use it anymore under a lot of circumstances. And as long as there are licensing and people going on strike and so forth, there's always going to be the possibility that in some manner something you had isn't, available anymore if you don't own. Again, it's just with music, it's a little different. I could very easily see with the quality that video and TV and stuff like that, movies are processed at now, I could easily see them getting to a point where it's like, it's not worth it to put on a disc. That's just, kind of where they are. So They're both going to go. The rumor for PlayStation is that they're going to do a refresh that is a system that has no disk drive, but that they are going to sell a separate disk drive that you can plug in via USB, so that if you already have one that has this, or you have this you want to use on it, you can do that. Which,
of course, Sony
is not super different from the way that laptops have been for for a long time. Like, you know, so sustainability, durable, reliable, approachable. I want to talk a little bit about this timeline, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about this? Getting a console refresh, the system, I guess at that point will be 5 years old.
About right, yeah.
Does that feel like the right time?
I think that feels about right. I mean, don't get me wrong; these systems, by all means, are not powerful as they are already. But obviously, with trying to push boundaries on doing other things, there's always that quick little tweak that may be able to be needed to the machine. Um, Obviously, the storage space at this point, I think, really honestly, is the biggest thing. I know as much as they sell the external cards that you can get and plug into them, game sizes are increasing every single year, every single month as games come out. The only thing that irritates me is with knowing, like, on the timeline, it shows that additional storage spaces will be available in FY25. It's like, are you going to tell me that for $100 more, you're going to have maybe like a 3 terabyte model, even a 4 terabyte potentially? I'd rather have
no.
I
I think they're talking about the little cards that have like how they have like the terabyte extra card now, or whatever. I think that's what they're talking about.
Is for it. But otherwise, I think 5 years, I think, is a good point, especially with the cloud type of stuff that they're going into. Like, I know, like we've been saying, for the most part, you could get on a one and you can do the streaming. It's going to come through pretty well on there because of the fact it's being streamed from Series X consoles at the server centers. But when you build a box essentially that can just become a cloud one right from in home, and the price point, like, even if you get the upgraded Series S, that Series S is going to be an amazing upgrade comparison to that one that you still at that the one. Where are we at the one now? Like almost a decade for the original one. It's about time for you to replace your original one. Like, even though it's time.
No, it's a decade. I mean, it came out in 2013. It's gonna be a decade in a month or two. Came out November of 2013. So it's a decade. It's a decade. I am of the mind that this is, I mean, it's a lot of information. There's I look, as a consumer, it's kind of crazy to see. Literally, I don't know what Xbox Gaming Beat is. That's right there.
That's
in
what
June,
I was trying to figure. I feel like that's just them. Maybe that's the ramp up.
Right there in July, though, that dotted line between
the fiscal year
24 and 25, you see it says mid-gen console announced. Elwood and Brooklyn announced simultaneously. And then the Elwood launched at $299, 1 terabyte. Which, here's the thing, that almost makes me wonder if that Elwood is not a Series S. If that joint is a version of the Series X that still is the 1 terabyte and dropping to $299, that would be crazy. I'm
pretty sure in the one that I saw, like, I'm pretty sure it was let me see if I can pull back up the one that I was reading to. I'm pretty sure it's a Series S. I had the whole.
So look, literally it says right here, okay, 60-day plus separation between launches enables dialogue with different audiences, allows us to focus on new improvements in Sebel, the controller, tell stories beyond console. Adds value to Brooklyn and Elwood at announce. So the launch of the controller, and then the fact the controller is coming with the new console.
With those, yeah.
Gives Elwood its own, in quotes, moment earlier in the holiday time frame to maximize sales.
Elwood is a Xbox Series S refresh. I have the image for that one.
Okay. Throw it up there.
Let me move it.
Lance Chance Edith, 512 gigabyte at $199 as Black Friday offer before end of life. So the 512 version of the Series S will go away, but it will drop to $199
for Black Friday.
Before they get rid of it, and they'll do that to move through. And then Starkville end of life ahead of the Brooklyn launch. So they must be they're going to get rid of the old Series X, the current Series X. Brooklyn arrives just in time for the gifting season, but separate from Elwood is the plan going into December. And then additional storage options announced available in FY20. So the second half. So you're talking between January and June of 2026 when the additional storage options happen. It's interesting. I did also see this. This is one of the things that got leaked. Elder Scrolls 6 will skip PS5 and isn't coming until at least 2026, according to documents from Microsoft and the FTC case. So, they hadn't really said anything about this. I know they've been asked, but like, were any of y'all expecting Elder Scrolls 6 to
no time soon? Oh, not really. No.
So when they showed us the very first time they showed it, and literally all it was just the title and possibly the new font. At that given moment, it was like, oh, they don't even have anything to show. This show is not coming for ages at this point.
No. And knowing that they've been working on Starfield, like, we're not seeing Elder Scrolls anytime soon.
So I was happy when they announced and said that it was in the works. Like, for me, you could have just left it at that and just never mentioned it again until it was actually time, or waited.
Yeah, I'm good. I got Starfield for right now. I know Elder Scrolls is coming. It'll get here.
For
when it gets here.
Series S right quick.
All
right, here's the one for the Series S. For the Elwood jump.
That joint looks the same, dog. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's what I was saying. No, I said it looks the same, but they had I say in quotations, a refresh. I think they're upgrading like the wireless and all that into it, just like they are doing with the Series X than anything else. The wireless, the Bluetooth.
Well, it's interesting that it specifically says more internal storage because they just released the 1 terabyte, and this still says 1 terabyte.
Yeah, I saw that.
This almost seems like obviously, again,
old.
Outside of maybe the Bluetooth updates and stuff, you're right.
It's old, so at that time, they probably announced that, it was going to be more storage space. So maybe the upgrade in the terabyte one that they gave us wasn't originally planned, and maybe they gave us that. And obviously, like you said, the leak stuff was like 2020 or whatever it was. So,
let me tell you that I just found a tweet. First of all, I think we need to let's talk about Xbox's reaction to this, because again, there's a lot of information that we're not even talking about. There's a lot of stuff, and we just can't cover all of that. Show's already running long. Phil Spencer tweeted. It was around 5 hours ago. We've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. It is hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there's so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share the real plans when we are ready. All this could be wrong.
It could be.
Very possible.
It's a few years old. So they could have gone in and changed that roadmap all sorts of different ways.
Then Tom Warren, same person who posted this, Tom Warren works for The Verge and specifically covers Xbox. I shouldn't say he covers Xbox. He covers Microsoft for The Verge. There is a Surface thing, I think, on Thursday, like a new Surface event or whatever that they have on Thursday. So like a lot of people are It's crazy because a lot of people are flying to Microsoft's campus for this Surface thing, and they just gonna be like, "What's up with that Xbox joint?
Yeah, holla at me.
So about the Series X 2.0, like, listen, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Surfaces.
Yeah, that's cute and all, but what about this Brooklyn?
He added a picture. Tom Warren added a picture that, like, if you look at it, there's a tiny Xbox logo at the bottom, and on the right hand side, there's like these two green lines that are there, and literally it says, "This is why a lot of Xbox stuff doesn't leak super early. Microsoft uses hidden watermarks in files and photos to identify leakers."
Oh!
So I think everyone gets access to it. They actually have a specific watermark that goes to the people that have it.
That's tied to whoever.
Well, buddy,
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and clean out your desk and clean out your. Matter of fact, we just need you to leave your building. We're gonna go ahead and send your stuff.
We'll mail you your stuff, bro. Yeah, you need to get out.
Give us your bag.
We're not giving you back nothing. You gave out our stuff. We keeping yours. I'm not.
Oh, and your parking, you're paying for it today.
Yeah,
we're not validating
that. Probably the next most interesting thing, at least for me, was that they had a rundown of like what Bethesda was working on when they were looking at them for acquisition. They had scheduled for this year a new Doom game called Doom Year Zero and DLC.
Okay.
Something called Project Kestrel, a new Elder Scrolls Online expansion, which did just hit. Something called Project Platinum.
Platinum games
last year, so FY22, Indiana Jones game. So clearly that got pushed back. 2020 changed a lot of things. So let's just an Oblivion remaster, another Elder Scrolls Online expansion, and the Starfield DLC was supposedly last year. They were calling Fallout 76 Fallout Worlds, something called Project Hibiki. That was FY21. Something called Fallout Wastelanders was supposed to come out in 2020. Doom Eternal and DLC, Elder Scrolls Online, Greymoor, Fallout Wastelanders, and Deathloop. For fiscal year 24, Elder Scrolls 6. Project Kestrel expansion, whatever that is. A licensed IP game, that's all it says. Fallout 3 remaster. Elder Scrolls Online expansion. Ghostwire Tokyo sequel.
Okay.
Dishonored 3.
Okay.
And more Doom Year Zero DLC. So they had a solid plan.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of leaks, man. It's terrible to see it happen. This way, but I think I'd be perfectly fine if they put out a new box next year.
I would be.
I'm good with that. New Series X, like I'll just wear I currently have a 1X still that I just haven't gone to put a Series X. I will gladly transition this Series X to there and put the other Series X right here.
I just moved the one I got to the bedroom, and that new one will be the base one for the living room. Yeah, and just
I will say this: I have been contemplating getting a Series S. Then they announced the 1 terabyte, and the junk was black, and I was like, that seems like the right way to go. But now, I'm not going to do that.
No, just gonna wait.
Not going to do that. But I still want a travel box, so I'm still probably going to end up getting. So that made me think, like, dang, when they drop that joint to $199 Christmas next year for Black Friday, stuff like that is gonna mess with them fiscally. Now, here's the other thing that we didn't talk about. I'm just gonna say they have listed a brand new console, so Generation 10 for 2028, fiscal year 28. So that's 5 years from now, which I feel is like perfectly. Like that sounds right to me. Doesn't look like it'll have a disc. They talk about basically it's a computer. Basically, it's a PC, and but like it looks like it is specifically designed to be able to stream like out of the cloud. Like not that'll be the only way, but like to have games assisted by streaming through the cloud. I mean, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of news. It was a lot. There's a lot going on. I don't even. Again, I've never. So here's what I want to do. We can talk about what happened with Unity next week because I have a feeling that might change. Last week, Unity had basically announced. Did you see this Unity news, Jokes?
Like the whole like fee or whatever it was to get in. Like I know it's the amount and developer. Like I got the gist of it, but it's like
you literally just said words and then we're like, I understood it though. You were like, it's like a fee and an amount.
Words.
How fees work.
Hey, look, you had the pieces of the puzzle and you went ahead and put them into place. It's all good.
That's because I know what you're talking about because I actually read the information. Look, in a nutshell, basically Unity, which is a extremely popular game engine that many developers use to make their games, but a ton of like indie developers use to make their games. Unity has a lot of money. They bought Weta Digital, which is like the next best thing to ILM, who does all the special effects for like Star Wars. Like Weta Digital is like a huge get. Ever since they went IPO and became like publicly traded, there's just been a lot of stuff they've been doing. Basically, they announced last week that for every download of your game over a certain threshold, but for the most part, to kind of just for every download, they will charge the developer 20 cents, which might not seem like a lot.
But over time.
However, we're talking about games that already exist, old games that like they give away for charity. It's every download. So like literally people are like, so you're telling me that like rather than going and review bombing, I have a game that's $1. I'm only charging $1 for it that I built in Unity. Somebody decides to go in, pay $1 to get my game. They install it, uninstall it, install it, uninstall it, install it, uninstall it. And I'm paying 20 cents every time. This is literally just installed. It's not per purchase, it's per install. So then people are like, so you're telling me I put my game in Game Pass, I put my game on PlayStation Plus, and every time somebody downloads the game, I now owe you 20 cents? Now, in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it, right? If you're publishing a game, if you have a game that's going to Xbox or Microsoft or Nintendo, those companies generally take 30% off the top. Right? So they're taking 30% of what you get. If you have a publisher and you're not self-publishing, your publisher's probably taking 20% off the top. And then you now are paying, you are paying a fee, an enterprise fee to Unity to use their tools and whatever to make the game. And now you're going to owe them because somebody downloads it and downloads it over and over again.
Yeah.
And people are like, yo, I'm out. I'll never use that joint again. I'm like 4 months into developing my new game. I'm changing. I'm doing everything I can to change over to a new engine. We're going to Epic. I'm like, it literally right now is like rattling the industry. So they came back. First, they were like, we're sticking to our guns. This is what it is. Da, da, da.
They pulled the Sony.
Then they walked it back and were like, no, for like, if it's like charity or something like that, like we have a way to see it. And people are like, well, how? And they're like, we don't know, but we have a way. And people are like, I don't trust that. How am I supposed to know that? Right? And then they are not sharing the metrics with which they use to determine how many downloads you had. So how are you supposed to know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why you owe them whatever amount of money they're claiming you owe them. And then they were like, oh, well, like if you're on like Game Pass or PlayStation, we're not going to charge the developer. We're going to charge Xbox and PlayStation. So hold on.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think that Microsoft and Sony and or Nintendo are now going to pay you, Unity, every time? Oh, you want to put your game in Game Pass? You developed it in Unity?
Unity?
Nope, can't
It's
do
all
it.
good.
Yep,
You
can't do
good.
it.
It's fine.
Are you telling me that you now believe that you're in a position to tell Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo and Steam, right?
Yep.
What's up, Andrew? To tell Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, Steam, and Epic, the Epic Store, that games that have been out for 10 years, that if somebody downloads their game on your storefront, you now owe us 20 cents every time somebody
go create your own system. And so put your games on there because it ain't gonna come on our boxes.
Bro, and then on top of that, the CEO sold like 2,000 shares, 2,000 of his shares of the company like the week before they made this announcement. Oh, and their shares went like this. Woo! And then they went like this.
Right back down. Right back down.
Yeah. So like then they put a joint out today saying they were walking it back. They're reconsidering. They're gonna.
I bet you
they're
are.
not saying they're not doing it. But at this point, like a lot of developers, like, yeah, dog, we don't trust
done.
you. Like
there's already
like literally. I listened to a podcast 2 days ago that there's a lawyer that is on this podcast that specifically her job is to read and create user and license. You know how like when you buy a game and that screen pops up, you got to scroll to the bottom and click that you accept it.
Yeah.
Her job is to read those and to make those. Like that's what she does. So she went in and read like the clauses, like what's in Unity, and it says in Unity's thing that like they can change prices on you or do whatever, like without notice, or whenever they want. And this is supposed to start taking place like January 1st. So people are like, "I'm gonna pull my joint from the Steam store. Thanks. We're gonna like, yeah, it's bananas. Like, yeah. There's literally an article. If you do a search for the death of Unity, there's like, it's pretty serious. GTA turned 10 years old this week. Happy birthday, GTA 5. That's kind of crazy.
5 has gone through how many?
I don't know if that's ever been done before, man. Three console generations online, just crushing it. Like, I mean, it's not that games haven't lasted that long. Final Fantasy 14. I mean, I'm sure that there's still people playing EverQuest. So
EverQuest is back. It's a thing. I see them playing it all the time.
So like, but that's PC. It's different across consoles. That's never been done. Not like that. Not like this.
Amazing.
Disney announced the day before yesterday that they are re-releasing the Werewolf by Night that came out last year in color.
Pretty cool.
October 20th. The full Aquaman trailer came out. We not gonna watch it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was given a date, announced on a PlayStation State of Play. They announced the day before they did it. It's getting trifling, y'all. And the only thing I want to say about it is that people are kind of upset because they specifically said that the Rebirth will not allow the transfer of the save data from the first Final Fantasy VII remake.
Garbage.
You are all of them are considered standalone, so you don't necessarily need to play one to play the other. And when you start, you are starting at level 1 with your characters and whatever. But it would be helpful if you play the first one so that you know the story, because this literally picks up right where the story left
off.
Off.
So how can you say that they're all standalones? Those are
not. I don't like any pieces of what they
starting
have.
at level 1. And you are building again, and so you might as well just know you're gonna have to do it again when the third part come out. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So people are upset, and it's cool. What they did say though is that if you have Final Fantasy VII Remake save data in your system, then you will start with a couple of summons. Like there's a materia they'll give you that you'll start with that you'll have. So you'll have like a couple of summons or whatever. And people are like, but I worked so hard and I think there's two. There's one for having save data from the main game, and then there's another summon that you get if you play the no, not the new game plus, but the downloadable with you the download.
Right, yeah, with UD or whatever you feel.
Intergrade or whatever it was.
Yeah, integrate. So, yeah.
So there's a separate like material you get if you have save data from that as well.
Okay. Boot them up, save it. Done.
Exactly. Other than that, I was a witness to seeing Dwayne The Rock Maivia Johnson show his old ass face on SmackDown for 15 minutes. I watched this man raise his penciled in eyebrows at the crowd and get them hype and walk into the ring and make this, I don't know who this clown is, this not Austin 316, get the crowd the most hype, crowd control, punish Slim off the crowd control. This is my crowd. These my people. You insulted the people. You're an a-hole. Like,
oh, he was getting it.
All right, you know what? Let's do it the other way. You're like, all right. And then proceed to do the slowest people's elbow. My man, The Rock has never looked old to me. That man almost did not clear Slim when he hopped over him off that first bounce. He almost stepped on Slim's face. I have never. I was like, yo. I've been watching this man for years. This is the first time I have ever seen his face and been like, oh, he old. He a big dude. He's a lot bigger than he was the last time my man was like getting it in the ring. He ain't for moving like that.
Oh no, that's not the type of workouts he's doing now. Like he just doing the workouts. Ain't about that.
Oh. It was cool to see though.
Oh no, listen, I give him props because that joke, like earlier in the day, him and Pat McAfee were doing commentating for the Colorado College game, and I saw that. I knew SmackDown was there too, and I was just like, "This dude's not going to." I was like, "This dude's not going to show up on it." But then once Pat McAfee showed up, it was like, but just for the fact that they were even able to keep that well hidden like that, for him to show up there and to get that pop that he got, because it's rare.
You can feel the energy.
It's rare that they can pull some of those surprises off as much anymore, but that place lost it.
I ain't gonna lie, dog. My man was like, "This is the people's," and my man was like, "You know what that means?" I was like,
"Yep, same here." It was like, "Here he comes,
man!
Here he comes."
When that joint hit, and the crowd was like, "It can't be." Like you can see it in their face. They were like, "It can't be."
Yeah, like they thought it
was some man, and the music started. I was like, "This."
And he took a while to walk out. I was like, "Are they messing with us? It's gonna be like the Miz dressed up as him again,
Rock coming out
like that." Yeah, doing something stupid like that.
Nope.
But no, it was him.
Hey, listen, everybody out their seat. You know, normally people's music on. You see a few people, those fans get up out of the seat. And listen, everybody got up out their seat.
Oh yeah, real talk. Real talk. Like there's no two. Like if you were there, dog, that night, like straight up, it's just history. Like you just like that was like, yeah, like I don't know if it really get much better than that. My man,
as much as Austin Theory gets crap, this dude has now been involved with The Rock, John Cena, and Stone Cold. Like
they pushing that dude.
He got his ass whooped by all three of them. Don't get me wrong, but to put him with these three dudes, I saying something.
If you say so, he don't mean nothing to me, but it's cool. Like I look, if he's doing well enough that they will bring in
Yeah.
the old heads to punish him.
I'm good with it. You talk, hey, jokes. We gonna bring Austin in here. If you cool, he's just gonna hit you with a stunner. I'm like, he can hit me with 2. Let's go.
Nah, dog. I'm gonna really be like, no, we can share a beer. He's not kicking me with his mechanical leg, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that. With the writer's strike and actors, we'll see more wrestlers, movie stars come back to WWE. Will we?
Possibility. I mean, I think it's a possibility.
Um,
And then some of them not gonna be doing anything. So
I
one-off
mean,
jumps.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't really know who else there really is to say would come back besides John Cena and The Rock. Like, I
feel
don't
like
know who else.
Batista would be the only other one, honestly. And honestly, if he comes back, he's just gonna be there for like how they did the reunion of like
Something like
Evolution,
that.
and he came back. Like, I don't really see him getting
In and out type of thing. Not
yeah.
not being there for like a month or something like that. Just I'm here for this and then that's it. I'm out.
More importantly, NSYNC got back together and was on Hot Ones this week. Man,
Sweet. I gotta watch that one.
They they got a new song for the new Trolls movie or whatever, which is really, it is what it is. But that's cool. It's cool. It's cool to see them do that. That's basically it, y'all. Like, I think this writer strike is probably gonna last until I think that the strike goes until May or June of next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll go until the execs are really like hurting.
Yeah.
Like, it needs stuff out, and there's no promo being done, and there's no like stuff is just like,
can't stay at the standstill for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna catch up to him.
You're gonna run out of stuff that's in the pipeline. Like, there's stuff currently in the pipeline. I know the thing is like, let's just run with what we got. But you, like you say, you can't do promos. You can't have the celebs go out here and do the stuff to promote. Like, you gotta give up.
I got a feeling we'll see indie projects kind of get pushed because I can't think of the name of the show now. What's the name? Show just got picked up for like, I don't know, however many, like 100 million or whatever it is by, I think, Netflix. Because they're gonna need content. They starving right now. So yeah, I mean, again, it's gonna continue to be a problem. And now that the video game industry is being affected by the strike, that they got authorized to strike, and the fact that like the Disney yesterday they announced that the
FX people or whatever
people like voted to unionize. Ain't nothing for them to work on.
Not at all.
So, you know what I mean? But
Disney,
when it's time, and you gotta understand that it's so smart for them to unionize right now because they're gonna be so far behind, and they're gonna need so much work done to try to catch up so they can put stuff out that they really are gonna be pushing it. And so they need to have stuff in place to protect them and timing and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be cool.
Like Disney getting desperate. You see that the box set jump with like the 100 Disney movies?
Yeah, I saw it. It was like $1,500.
$1,500. Y'all can keep that.
Good.
I was getting ready to say all them joints on Disney Plus, but for real, all them joints on Plex. It's like, nah, but I don't know. Look, just like J. Robert Dean said, some people want to own
physical media.
So if you want to own it, if you're a collector, if you got $1,500 for Blu-rays, if you're still using a Blu-ray player, you know what I mean? I ain't loaded. Let me make something very clear. I use the disk drive in my Xbox for the first time. That joint is 3 years old. I used it for the first time like a month ago because the power went out and then the internet went out.
And you can't.
And I was like, Hey, dog, it's too quiet. It's too quiet. And I'm like, I'm in my basement. It's like my phone is not. I'm not streaming from like 5G or whatever down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my old tried and true. Went and snagged my Tom and Jerry Volume 2 disc DVD, bruh. I was like, I'm about to enjoy the slapstick shotgun comedy. Now, dog, I put that joint in, and you know what I couldn't do?
Update it.
Couldn't download the app that is necessary to run the disk drive, which I don't have and never got because I have never used the disk drive.
That should just be there. Like that's stupid. That joint should just be there.
Why? I don't need it.
I'm gonna say he hasn't used it.
No. You don't need it. But for the fact that the Blu-ray drive is in it, I feel like that joint should just be there. Like
The app.
Yes, it should just be there. Like the store. Like you have the Blu-ray.
It is there in the store. I didn't need it. Hey, bro, listen. Let me tell you something about Is You Is.
Or Is You Baby.
Oh, yeah, J. Robert Dean's Tom in a zoot suit. Yeah, the way you acting lately makes me down. Hey, no. You are still my baby, baby. I love Tom and Jerry. You kidding me, bruh? Straight up. So as soon as I got my internet back, I was like, let me download this this Blu-ray app. So I can, if I need to watch something,
it's there.
I can access it.
That's nuts. And now that you say that, I think the last disc, I think I bought Dark Knight on 4K. I think that was the last time I ever put a disc in the box.
Hey, dog, listen, I have purchased Spider-Man films in 4K because they are Spider-Man films.
Mm-hmm.
They're not open.
Mm-hmm.
They're not open. They just, I have them though.
Open it to get set.
Actually, that's not true. The first Tom Holland joint I bought in 4K because I wanted to see
the difference. I think I remember
noticeable difference between watching it on the disc in 4K and streaming it on the internet in 4K. And at the time there was. I mean, it's like I can tell the difference. I don't think most people would know the difference. But I'm a trained professional. So it's a little different. Anyway, this weekend, the original plan was to be at Anime USA. That plan no longer exists. We will not be at Anime USA.
Nope.
Due to what we are going to call unforeseen circumstances. The following weekend, on the 30th, we will be at Saucy Fest. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a festival about sauce. There will be live music. There's sauce competitions, and people will be eating wings, and there will be hot things, and yeah, we will be there to do some hosting and so forth.
Feeling saucy.
Following that, October 7th and 8th, we'll be in Bel Air for StellarCon, 2-day con, doing some hosting and some working and stuff like that. So look into that. Get your tickets. Come through. Hang out. Kick it with us. And again, on the heels of that, first thing in November, it's time for Extra Life again. So look for some announcements coming. We're asking people to join the team, trying to get some extra people on the team to play. You know, just more people on the team, the more people pulling in, the more money we can raise. And that's what the whole point is, isn't it? So, Jokes, if you would do your job, I would greatly appreciate it. Jokes going to get the Beacons link up just in case There's somebody new out there who doesn't know. Jump on the Beacons link. That's the easiest way to find us and follow us across social media. Sin, if you would please.
And with that, let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbaye. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you so very much for hanging out with us. It's been a long show. We have to watch Ahsoka. If you're not caught up on Spoiler Boys, get caught up.
Couldn't say better myself.
Watch Spoiler Boys. They pushed up the release date
for Loki.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th, and that joint is also going to be a 9 p.m. joint for us. Yes.
So right after we finish Ahsoka,
right into the next
into Loki.
Yep. After that Loki season 2, y'all. So I'm telling you, get hip, get on Spoiler Boys. We have some great conversations and do some serious deep dives. Next Wednesday, we will be having our movie club discussion for Knock at the Cabin. We'll post something, and obviously we'll talk about it on Tuesday.
Right.
Before we do that. And the Eagles are kicking butt, y'all. Go Philly.
The Falcons are 2-0. We're actually starting out the season decently for a change.
I'm so happy for you because you've been a loser for long.
Listen, after the Super Bowl, everything just went downhill.
Sam, what's popping in Thriller Park on Thursday?
We will be watching episodes 8, 9, and 10 at least of Main Abyss. We were supposed to watch just 4, 5, and 6, but it was getting too good, and everybody was like, "Nah, we got to run one more before we get off." So we just did it. We ran the next episode. So it's a big hit so far. Everybody's into it. So, and I think only myself and Noah, the two people who've already seen it. So seeing everybody's reaction to this one has been, fun and entertaining. And I have a very strong suspicion we're probably going to dive into the movie like soon, because we seem to be blown through this one fast. So,
movie comes after the series, or is that like in between somewhere?
It's after. It's okay. Yeah. You can flow right into it. It's all canon. You're good to go. Yeah. So yes, at least 8 out of 10 this week.
I gotta watch the last episode.
2.
It's like an episode and a half. It's like an episode and a half.
You need to go watch 6 and 7 because you passed out again. And then you woke up, we were watching episode 7 and you were a little off.
Listen, I'll be having these long days, bruh.
Hey, listen, I understand. I have one more thing before we get out of here. Because I can't not do this. Sin.
Yeah.
Like myself, you have played and completed Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, bro, I have.
Put a score on that thing.
Right now, I'm at a 9 with it. I am thoroughly enjoying the game right now. Like I said, beat the story. Story was fantastic. Everything started to make sense to me with the whole cameo fighters and everything. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. This time around, I get it. Started running invasions yesterday. At first, when I got into invasions, I was like,
"Did you finish Johnny Cage's joint?"
I did.
Are you on the next part of it?
I'm past that. Yeah, when I first got into Johnny Cage, I was like, what the hell is this? This is stupid. I'm not feeling it. But the second it completed, I was like, oh, okay, that's just a tutorial. Then they get into this season story and everything. I'm like, okay, hold up for a second. And I move around the map and I'm having a blast. Like, I'm having a great time with it. Unlocking stuff and moving through the invasions.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
After you get out of Johnny Cage's area and you go into the first invasion area, you go up, you bust that left. Then there's a joint behind you that's blocked, or you can go forward. Did you get through the joint that was blocked?
I have to go back and look at it. I know some places you can't get to until you complete the invasion because you get something that unlocks other places you can get to.
When you get to it, there's a joint that pops up that says like hint or something like that, and then there's something underneath of it, and it's basically it's jumbled up letters. Like it's
I
it's
remember
telling
that. Yeah. I remember. I know what you're talking about. I don't think I got through it. I know what you're talking about.
Let me tell you how to do it.
Please.
So if you read it, it's basically the letters are jumbled. It just says destroy the world. So you have to destroy the world. You know how you do it?
How?
Have you done all of the fatalities and the cameo fatalities?
No. I've only seen like one fatality.
Hey, dog, I did all of them joints. So if you remember from like Mortal Kombat 3, Cyrax has a fatality where he opens his chest, spits out a bunch of bombs, and when the bombs go up, it blows up the world. So when you do that fight, you have to choose him as your cameo character, and you have to do his fatality at the end of the joint. When you do it, once you finish it, it'll blow up the barrels or whatever that are blocking the joint. You just go grab the chest.
Clean.
Okay. So now I got to figure out how to do cameo fatalities. Okay.
Oh, it's not hard. It's when you pause it
in the menu. You can just
the cameo moves are on the screen. Like when you pause it,
I didn't know that they could do fatalities. I was just me out here with the hands. Yeah, I didn't know until just now.
They have their own brutalities. They have their own fatalities. You can do fatalities even if you haven't opened it up. So like I know, like I've been running with Reptile. Slim's a monster. I've been running with Reptile. You start, you only have one that's on the screen. Right. You can do the other ones. So I do his, but everybody has the same. Everybody starts with the same first brutality. All it literally uppercut. Is you have to, the uppercut. Everybody has that.
I'm rocking that left and right, yeah.
But they have other ones that are like there's brutalities for different. Like Goro has a brutality that like it's a grab, but when you do it, you have to hit like down on the D-pad like 3 times while he's doing it, and then that does the brutality stuff like that. Like it's in there. Once you open it up, it's there. But yeah, that joint's crack. Story is like that. I did go back and replay the last chapter of the story. With a different character. I went through with Liu Kang. And when you do that, it's not the Liu Kang from the game. It's a different Liu Kang that's on the team. Don't worry about it, jokes. It's multiverse.
Yeah.
It's not God Liu Kang, it's another Liu Kang. So, but I did fight different. I fought some of the same. I fought some of the same ones, but I fought different ones too.
Okay.
And that joint is and there is an achievement for replaying chapter 15.
Okay. That should be easy enough.
So all you gotta do is go into the joint, chapter select, and you have to start at the top. So basically, every one of those, you know how have you looked at the chapters, the way the chapters are broken out in the story mode?
Yes.
There's like 4 acts.
Yeah.
Within act 4, that last chat is a bunch of every one of those fights is a different chapter, is a different thing in there. So you basically have to go all the way to the back to the very beginning of that act and run the whole chapter. Because if you go back and to the second one or the third one, you'll do it, but you'll be replaying it with whoever you picked.
You did it last, yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Highly recommend.
And Smoke is my guy for sure.
Hey, bro, listen, I bang with Smoke too,
for sure.
But they did some things with. I bang with Smoke.
No, they did. When I was playing with him in the story, I was like, okay, he can be a problem.
Scorpion feels real good. Like it's.
Yep, I've been in the store. I've been looking at things to buy. Like, okay, they got some outfits.
I ain't been in the store.
Yeah, I just got the first one I was going to buy. I got this katana one. I unlocked it like I earned it. I beat her in the story mode in Invasions, and they gave it to me. So I was like,
yeah, and I'm getting ready to do some towers because I know it's stuff you open for towers. I need them coins. That joint has been good enough that it got me off Starfield for the moment.
Absolutely, same here.
Get hip, jokes.
Hip. I'm in Starfield. I'm about to finish that mission and get the was it that Mantis jump?
Okay.
That joint yet, though?
Nah, because I hadn't finished the storyline. I'm at the place with the letters on the ground, so you just got to go through, do that, and then shoot the couple things, and I'll be in there, and then I'll have it.
You got anybody with you?
Oh yes,
Tell them to wait before.
Oh
no.
I learned that after the fact, because when I went and walked over one of the letters, I'm like, why did I just get shot? And then I was like, oh, you know why? Because your homeboy is following me.
I didn't have that problem.
Oh,
I did not have that problem.
I
just walked that. I ain't had that problem at all.
Homie walked right with me and got me shot all the way up.
Yep.
Yeah, be that. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us this evening. It's been wonderful. It's been a very long show, so I appreciate you staying to the end. Thank you very much. We will see y'all next week again. Look out for that spoiler boys. Jokes, tell them what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you got a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
That we're out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.